When a young man went to the bank to withdraw money, the salesperson was busy talking on the phone with her boyfriend. She was distracted and accidentally added an extra zero. She then threw 100,000 yuan in cash to the man. She then rudely asked him to check it carefully, saying she wouldn't be responsible after the cashier left the bank. The man walked out the door with the bag of money, but he noticed something was wrong with the weight. He opened the bag and carefully counted the money, and was shocked to find it actually contained a full 100,000 yuan. However, the man only had 10,000 yuan in his savings. He immediately realized it was the salesperson's mistake. As a low-paid salesman, although this large sum of money would significantly improve his life, he was worried about the bank coming back to haunt him. Furthermore, his parents had taught him to be an honest person. After much hesitation, he decided to return the extra money. But the salesperson was busy playing games and didn't want to hear the young man's words. The interruption made her impatient. The young man had just said the amount she'd just given him was wrong, and the salesperson immediately assumed he was deliberately trying to cause trouble. She warned him not to disrupt the situation and sternly explained that according to bank regulations, anything that happened after withdrawing the money and leaving the bank was none of the bank's business. The salesperson was convinced the young man was deliberately trying to extort money, so no matter his explanations, she ignored them and told him to leave immediately, even calling security to remove him. Just then, the noise of the argument attracted the bank manager, who immediately came over, claiming she'd encountered a madman. The manager then asked if she'd made another mistake. It turned out this wasn't the salesperson's first mistake. The manager had warned her that if she made another one, she'd be fired. The salesperson, fearing she'd lost her job, rushed over and grabbed the manager before the young man could explain the situation. She claimed the young man had always had a crush on her and that because she hadn't accepted him, he had come to the bank to pester her. The manager, however, believed the salesperson's words and ordered her to take care of her personal affairs before returning to her work. Seeing the crisis resolved, the salesperson immediately and arrogantly told the young man to get out, or else she would be rude. The young man, unable to bear it any longer, bluntly claimed she had overpaid him by 90,000 yuan in cash. She began to mock him, saying that withdrawals were automated and how could he have been overpaid. The young man said he'd wait until he left and told the salesperson not to regret it. This only earned him another round of ridicule from the salesperson. Helpless, the young man accepted the 100,000 yuan in cash. He left the bank with mixed feelings. Unexpectedly, as he reached the door, he was stopped by a man claiming to be a lawyer. It turned out the lawyer had long been dissatisfied with the bank's arrogant attitude. He told the young man that if the bank later discovered that the young man had withdrawn an extra 90,000 yuan in cash, they could still recover the money. However, he had a way to ensure he could withdraw the money properly. Meanwhile, the security guard on the other side sensed something was amiss. His intuition told him the young man might not be lying. The security guard advised the salesperson to immediately retrieve the young man. However, the salesperson confidently insisted that the system could not possibly have been wrong and that the young man was deliberately causing trouble. Little did she know that she would soon pay the price for her carelessness. The young man soon returned to the bank. The salesperson impatiently asked him why he'd come back. Unexpectedly, the young man sternly asked if she really didn't want the extra money she'd just withdrawn. The salesperson impatiently said no and told the young man to get out. The young man breathed a sigh of relief. He then pulled out a fund donation agreement for the salesperson to sign, saying that as long as she acknowledged that the extra money was a voluntary gift to him, he would leave immediately. The salesperson grabbed the agreement without hesitation and said he would sign it, but the young man had to promise not to appear in her presence again. Little did he know, this was exactly what the young man wanted. He said that even if the salesperson knelt down and begged him, he would never come to her again. The salesperson signed the agreement without a second thought and impatiently told the young man to leave. As long as the other party personally acknowledged and signed it, the agreement would be legally binding. The money was a personal gift from the bank teller. Having done all this, the young man left without hesitation. The salesperson then complained to her colleagues about the young man being a fool. However, her colleagues reminded her, what if she really was mistaken? The clueless salesperson, however, decided it was impossible and said that if she was mistaken, she would kneel down before the young man and force him to return the money to the bank. Suddenly, the accountant rushed over and anxiously told the salesperson that she had discovered during her check that the salesperson had withdrawn an extra 90,000 yuan for another customer. Upon hearing this, the salesperson was horrified.